All right, everybody, how's it going? I hope you've had a good weekend and a good, week 2 of the NFL preseason. I hope your teams did well. I hope you've seen what you wanted to see from your favorite team, whether it be, production from the backups, a little bit from the teams that showed their starters for like a whole quarter, maybe some of the second quarter too. I kind of hope you got, you've seen what you wanted. You got to kind of get a more extended sneak peek of what your team was. But the patient fans, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting because this is the week of the preseason that actually kind of matters. If you've ever, followed the NFL preseason or followed the NFL in general, you know that week 3 of the NFL preseason is generally the dress rehearsal. Some teams will ignore it, and we'll kind of point those teams out when we get to them. Based on what I've been seeing from the teams, I think certain teams are playing way down and they're not going to show their hands this week, where some teams will. They just want to see everything they got for about 3 quarters. Some teams go a full half, some teams go the first 3 quarters. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see what actually happens. I'm going to give my predictions to what teams do what, somewhat, and you could tell by the picks I make and all that stuff. So here we are. I had a good week too. I went 11-5 last week making my picks, so pretty good. I went 12-4 the week before, so making pretty good weeks back to back. So we're gonna make our week 3 NFL preseason pick'em choices here. Let's get started with Thursday night football. Up first, we have the New York Giants traveling to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. The Giants are 2-0 off a 32-13 win over the Chicago Bears, and the Bengals are 1-1 off of a win against I believe they beat the Redskins 23-13. So the Bengals are, it was the Redskins. The Giants, I have the Giants beating the Bengals. Based on what I've seen from both teams' backups, the Giants have a way better backup team than the Bengals. And I believe that the Giants have better starters than the Bengals when the season actually gets underway. I think the Giants will have a better year than the Bengals will, especially without A.J. Green early. We're going to probably see a lot of Eli tonight, and on Thursday anyway. So I think the Giants are just a better team than the Bengals heading into the year. So when we see more of the starters, that'll probably ring true. And I think the Giants, who've been throttling people with their backups, have a way better backup situation than the Bengals. Easy win for the Giants, 24-17. And then the Carolina Panthers will play host to the New England, or the Patriots are going to play host to the Panthers. Sorry. And the Panthers are 1-1 coming off of a 27-14 loss to Buffalo. The Patriots are 2-0 after a comeback win against the Tennessee Titans, 22-17. Much like this game, I think we're going to see some of Tom. The Patriots haven't really said much, so we're not too sure if we'll see the Patriots first string with Brady and some of the receivers. Some of those guys are hurt, so who knows who we'll actually see. With Carolina, I'm in kind of a similar boat. I'm sure they'll play Cam some if he's able to go. If not, the backups will go. And based on what I've seen from both teams' backups, because I think this is going to be one of those games where we see more backups than starters, but time remains to tell, really. The Patriots have a way better backup situation. They've dominated their last 2 games. They had a cool comeback, even against the Titans, one of the teams that kind of dominates them usually. So that was fun. I like the Patriots 28-14. Even if they play the starters, the Patriots got better starters than the Panthers. 28-14, I like the Patriots. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Ravens are 2-0 off a second straight dominating win, 26-13 over the Green Bay Packers. And the Philadelphia Eagles are 1-1 off a 24-10 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to see the starters from both teams. I'd imagine both teams are going to trot out their guys. I'm not too sure about the Eagles with Wentz. I don't think they're going to risk injuries to anybody. And if that's the case, I like the Ravens to win. I really think the Eagles are going to play a reserved game. They're already suffering weird injuries and stuff like that. And if it comes down to backups versus backups, the Eagles beat the Jaguars, but the Jaguars are just not doing anything this preseason. That's very, very evident. They're one of those teams that they're just not taking the preseason seriously, which you shouldn't. But the Ravens seem to be taking it rather seriously. I like them winning this game for that reason. 31-28 roughly. Just because they seem like they're more focused than a lot of other teams. 2 blowouts, yeah. Then we have the Washington Redskins taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Redskins are 0-2 off a 23-13 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Falcons, who are clearly just phoning it in for the preseason, they really don't care. They're 0-3 with a 22-10 loss to the Jets. I mean, the Falcons really aren't playing this preseason. I don't think any one of the starters are playing. Any first-teamers have played yet. I don't think they have. They've literally just been dead the whole fucking preseason. And the Redskins, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're just bad, like a bad football team. But somebody's got to win this game. The Redskins kind of seem like a bad team this year. Their backups look bad. The starters really haven't done much in the games. Whereas the Falcons, they're just not trying. So I don't even know if they're going to play their starters. If they don't, they'll lose. About 13-10, I think the score is going to, because someone has to win probably. This game could be a tie because Atlanta's not going to try and Washington's kind of bad. So 13-10, I like the Redskins to win this game because somebody's got to. I guess. All right, and then we have a pretty fun game for Thursday night. I believe, no, there's one more game after this one. So I was going to say, to wrap up Thursday, this is a pretty cool game. The Green Bay Packers will play at Oakland. The Packers are 1-1 off of a loss to the Ravens 26-13, and the Raiders are 2-0 off of a 33-26 win against the Arizona Cardinals. The Oakland Raiders are having a pretty good preseason, 2 pretty strong wins. Their backups, they have a lot of depth. They have very well coached depth. The Packers, meanwhile, they kind of look good in the first one, but what I said seemed kind of true, right? It's kind of troublesome when you get all those turnovers and only win by 2. When they beat the Texans, they had like 50 turnovers but won by 2, and it kind of paid dividends when they played a team with a good defense and a good team. In the Ravens, they lost 26-13, playing the same kind of backups. They struggled. It's exactly what I thought it was. They only won because they got all those turnovers without a tremendous amount of getting the ball back. The Packers, really, I don't know what they are. I'm very confused. So, I mean, and they barely won that game where they got a bunch of turnovers. So I don't trust this Green Bay Packers team. Very shaky with the backups. They're a bad team when Aaron Rodgers is not on the field. So I don't really like them winning. So I like the Raiders to win this game, who look very competent, well coached. The backups are playing well. 30-17. Give me the Raiders over the Packers. This is a who gives a shit game. Dolphins take on the Jaguars. The Jaguars are off a loss, 26-10. The Dolphins are off a loss, 16-14 to the Buccaneers. The Jaguars lost to the Eagles. The Jaguars are doing nothing in the preseason, and the Dolphins are trying and still failing, kinda. It's just I don't know. I think the Dolphins win 20-13 because Jacksonville is not trying. This is like the worst week 3 preseason game probably. There's a couple more snoozers out there, but my God. Imagine this being a game you're excited for. I feel sorry for people like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Those are the Thursday games. Those are my Thursday night predictions for week 3 of the preseason. Let's go ahead and go on to Friday night. We got the Cleveland... I almost just died there. There's only a couple games on Friday night. I think there's 2. So this one's going to go fairly quickly. The Cleveland Browns take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Browns are 2-0 off of an impressive win over the Colts, 21-18, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 1-1 with a 16-14 win over the Miami Dolphins, as we just discussed. This game's going to be pretty good. I think it's clearly Cleveland has a better team than Tampa. I think the backups on Cleveland are better than Tampa's backups. Just an overall better team, better coach. Oh, man, I don't know about coach because Bruce Arians, but give me the Browns 27-20. That's my most sure pick this week. The Browns will beat the Buccaneers. I don't know what the finals are going to be, but Browns are going to win. And then the Lions are going to take on the Bills in Detroit. The Bills are 2-0, having a very good preseason after beating the Carolina Panthers 27-14. The Lions are 0-2, looking lifeless and despondent yet again on offense and defense, really, with a loss 30-23 to the Texans. Detroit looks bad, but I have a sneaky suspicion Detroit's doing one of those we're not tipping our hands at all, we're not trying in the preseason type moves. A couple of like the Falcons are doing it, the Rams are doing it. I believe the Bears, the Broncos, there's a few teams that just aren't trying. They don't care about the preseason. They're not going to risk it. They don't want to show their hands and give away what they're doing. For those reasons, and the Bills look really good, I'm not going to lie. They've been pretty fucking strong this preseason. So I like the Bills to win this, 24-21. And the Lions are one of my teams, so this is hard to make this. And I hate the Bills. I really hate the Bills, so... This is Friday night, though. These are the only 2 games. The Bills and Lions might be fun to watch. It's going to be on TV, I believe, CBS. So, good luck. Let's go on to Saturday night, where there's 7 games. We have 7 games on Saturday night. Let's try and get through them. Minnesota Vikings take on or host the Arizona Cardinals. Vikings are 2-0 off after a 25-19 win over Seattle. The Cardinals are 1-1 off a 33-26 loss to the Oakland Raiders, where Kyler Murray struggled very, very mightily. The Vikings are a better team, at every position they're a better team, except maybe Hall of Fame caliber receiver. Very niche position, but the Cardinals have that beat on the whatever. Oh, that's a bad joke. Who cares? The Vikings are going to win this game, especially if it's a dress rehearsal for both teams. Kyler Murray, we'll see what he does this week. We'll see if the offense opens up a little bit. We see some air raid. We've yet to see any this preseason. Obviously, the Cardinals are playing close to the chest, so we'll see how they respond going into this week after a pretty big beat up on their star quarterback. And Vikings 21-13. This is another who gives a shit game, really. If this was a preseason game, this would be one of the best games to watch. But sadly, we're getting this in the preseason for no reason other than forget us, right? God damn it. Without Andrew Luck, we don't know. But we know one thing. The Bears are not going to do anything in this game. I don't think they're going to play starters. Their head coach says he doesn't give a shit about the preseason, winning in it. He'd rather lose all the games and just kind of figure out what he's got in terms of depth. I think the Colts, though without Andrew Luck, they've been trying to win games. They played Cleveland very well. Chicago's not going to try. Colts are going to try somewhat. And I like the Colts for that reason. If this is regular season, I'd be going fucking Bears over Colts. Just so you know. But I like the Colts in the preseason because the Bears aren't trying at all. 2014. This is a fun one if you're a fan of Texas sports. This is the Texas Bowl, as the Houston Texans travel very far to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. I think it's actually like an Oxnard, but I don't know where Cowboys play their preseason. I know they do camp in California. I don't know. Let me know if you guys are big Cowboys fans and I've upset you because I don't know where your team practices. Anyway, the Cowboys are 1-1 off of a 14-10 win over the Rams, and the Texans are 1-1 with a 30-23 win over the Lions. Cowboys have a better team. They're far more talented than the Texans. If we see the starters, the Cowboys have better starters. I think the Cowboys have better depth. The Texans, I don't know what to think of their starting offensive line, their starting defense. I think both of their starting offensive line, pretty much their defense. We'll see how that defense plays, how the O-line plays if we see the starters. Too many questions for the Texans for me. Cowboys, I see a lot of answers except for at Zeke. But Tony Pollard, what a good little running back, right? Zeke who? 28-20, Cowboys take the W. We have the New Orleans Saints taking on the New York Jets. The Jets are 1-1 with an impressive, not really impressive win over the Falcons, 22-10. They only won like that because the Falcons weren't trying. Literally, they just don't care about the preseason. And the Saints are 1-1 following a 19-17 win over the Chargers. Yes, it was the Chargers, so cool. Jets only beat the Falcons because the Falcons weren't trying. The Saints won their game pretty. It was fun to watch. Bridgewater's fun. I think the Saints are a better football team. They have more depth. I don't know about more depth, but they have more chemistry. They have more. I don't know. So if we see the starters from both teams, which I'm assuming we might, I like New Orleans starters way more than the Jets starters. So many questions. So many. How's this going to work? How's this chemistry going to work for the Jets? How's everything just going to come together? We won't see Le'Veon Bell, I don't think. So I like the Saints winning this game, 27-17. I think this would be a better regular season game as the Chiefs host the 49ers. So Kansas City is taking on the 49ers. The Chiefs are 1-1 following a loss 17-7 to the Steelers, and the 49ers are 2-0 following a 21-15 win over a team that's not trying in the Denver Broncos. Jimmy G struggled also. This game's going to be at Arrowhead. We're going to see probably both teams use a bit of the starters in this one. And if that's the case, the Chiefs will win this pretty handily. I have them winning 24-21 because I don't know how long the starters are going to play for either team. If it's just a half, 3 quarters, it could be a bigger score. But I do like the Chiefs winning this game regardless, something like 24-21. The next game, we have the Denver Broncos heading to Los Angeles to play the Rams. This is a confusing one, folks, because neither of these two teams give a shit. It's hard to really choose between two teams who clearly aren't trying in the preseason. The Rams have said they don't try in the preseason. That was last year's big shock, right? that they sat all their starters all 4 games and whatever. And they're 0-2 off a loss, 14-10, and the Broncos are 1-2 off a loss, 21-15. The Rams lost to the Cowboys, Broncos to the 49ers, as we just talked about. Because the Broncos have actually won a game and the Rams have not, I don't think they did last year either. I'm just picking the Broncos 17-10. Rams don't do anything. Somebody's got to win. I think the Broncos will, just because they have a win. If not, I'd have picked the tie. And then Seattle Seahawks and Los Angeles Chargers, they play each other. Chargers are hosting this game. Seattle's going to come in and play them. They're 1-1 off of a 25-19 loss to the Vikings. Chargers, I don't think they're trying. They're another team. Former player coach, Anthony Lynn or whatever he's doing. They have a lot of injuries that are mounting at weird positions. So I think they're going to kind of chill it back, not play as many starters, especially with the injury to Derwin James. That's pretty crucial. That's really not good. They don't want to risk anybody else getting hurt. I see them sitting everybody. I see them losing this game 21-10 for that reason. Literally just because I think they're going to take it easy on their starters. I don't see them playing them for the rest of the preseason. They can't afford more injuries. Sunday Night Football, we have just one game to talk about. Pittsburgh Steelers going to Tennessee to play the Titans. This should be a pretty fun game to watch if we see the starters for the first half. I'll talk about the Titans in a second. The Steelers are 2-0, coming off a 17-7 win against the Chiefs. The Steelers receivers all look real good, by the way, if you haven't watched. Steelers receivers look extra crispy with everyone out there, so watch out. Like I've said, Steelers 11-5 this year. They'll win the division again, basically because of the fact that their receiving core is going to be fine. There's going to be great chemistry that they haven't had in years. The running back situation is what it is. James Conner's had a better year than Le'Veon's ever had, in just pure rushing numbers. So I don't know. I think the Steelers are going to be just fine. The receivers look really good, especially Washington this preseason. So I like the Steelers to win 31-20. And there's also rumors coming out of Tennessee real quick, who lost 22-17, blew it to the Patriots. That Ryan Tannehill could be taking the job of Marcus Mariota, depending on how this game goes. So watch this game be like half and half. I'd imagine Mariota gets some time, and then we'll see maybe Mr. Tannehill gets some time with the first team as well. I wonder if they're going to split. That'll kind of show you if the battle's actually getting that serious. I think it has. I think Tannehill might take the job, but we'll see going forward. So those are our picks for the week. So our NFL preseason pick'em record, 0-1 for the Hall of Fame game, 12-4, 11-5. So we're 23-10 overall. Very solid pick'em record so far for the year. 23-10, not that bad. So, all right, everybody, we got that done in under 20 minutes this week, so that's pretty good. Sorry if that was really fast, but I wanted to try to get it under 20. And, it's still just the preseason, so I don't know. I hope you liked the picks. They were pretty well done. I put some thought into them, kind of. If you have any thoughts on them, let me know down below. I'll make sure to comment. If you want to leave your picks, I'll be sure to comment back at the start of next week. Or actually, I'm not going to do that in the preseason, so don't. You can leave your picks, but I'll make mental note of them. But that's really for the regular season when we do head-to-head pick them in the comments. But do leave your thoughts down below. Leave your picks. Just leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back to all of them that I can as I see them. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Both those things help grow the channel. Yada yada. YouTube blah blah. So I don't know. All right, guys, we're getting very close to the start of the regular season. We have one more preseason picks video after this, and then we have, and week one NFL picks. So can't wait to make those next 2 videos. That's going to be very, very fun. This was a fun one to make because these games actually kind of have a little more impact. Some teams won't, but whatever. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it all the way through, give yourselves a round of applause. And so enjoy. Last video I will ever make inside of where I'm currently living. Little bonus fact, I'm moving, so enjoy that. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a good rest of the week. Hope your pick'ems are doing well this preseason. What's your record? Leave it down below. I'll talk to you later. Peace. Go Patriots.